Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Tejas.
Hello. Sorry.
बाहर लोग गेट से हटा दो बस
गेट से हटा दो
We'll be waiting for a couple of more minutes. So that
You
other
can't do
people-
this all the time, please. Sit here quietly. Have your pillows. Please sit on this. Better.
Yeah, I think we can start now. Can we start with the introduction first, so that everybody knows everyone, and then we can start about the features. Tejas, you want to go first?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Tejas. I'm joining from Reap Benefit. And yeah, I've been using Glific for engaging our target audience of adolescents and youth from different parts of India. So it has been very helpful for the last 1 year. And yeah, looking forward to seeing doing more amazing things using Glific. Thank you.
Thanks. Divya, you want to go next?
Hi everyone, my name is Divya. I work with an organization called Civis. So we are looking at collecting feedback from citizens through WhatsApp on different laws and policies that the government publishes. And we've completed our first round of testing, which everybody has been really impressed with. So thankful to the Colored Cow team as well for their support all through this, and looking forward to putting to use all the new features that have come in now for the second round.
Thanks, Divya. Amit?
Hello, my name is Amit. I'm from Ahmedabad and I'm with Enable India. So I'm a Soapstone Fellow, a person with disability, and my association with Glific just started about 10 days ago.
Welcome, Amit. Shankar?
Hello everyone, I'm Shankar and I've been working in Enable India for the past 7 to 8 months. So from on Glific, I've been working on that from September till now, and like we are using Glific for getting the data of candidates like across the whole country and internationally also, like people with disabilities, like they are they are registering into the Glific bot, and through that we are getting the details of them, and like do they need any job or any type of training, like those kind of details we get. So I have to thank the Colored Cow consulting team for helping us in whatever important points which we required, like especially for the sign language flow, like for people, for hearing impaired people, like they need to be able to access that in sign language, right? So I need to thank the Colored Cow team for doing that for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Shankar. Prashant, you're next.
So hi everyone, my name is Prasad. I'm joining from Antarang Foundation. We mostly use our Glific chatbot as a student to give them information about their careers and their so path. So we also give them information about their careers depending on their interest aptitude. It has been a year we have been using chatbot, and it was been a great. We get many good results from it, and because of the Griffith consultant team, it has given me many progress and achievement for them. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Prashant. Shravani, you're next. Shravani.
Yes, I am Shravani from India Literacy Project. So we are working with Glific some past 2 years. So we are doing career counseling to the students of 9th and 10th class students. So yeah.
Thanks, Shravani, for joining. Akshita.
Hi everyone, I'm Akshita. I'm from Antarang Foundation. As Prashant said, we are using Glific from about a year ago, and this WhatsApp bot giving us a very good information about the students, and we are tracking the student information when they are filled any form and any flow. So thank you, and I'm here today for about knowing the new features the Glific provides. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Akshita,
Thank
for
you.
joining. Yeah. Krishna from TAC.
Hello, everybody. I'm Krishna Priya. I'm a product team lead at TAP. So we have a chatbot named Tap Buddy, which we work with government and low-income private school children to share activities every week in the courses that they have selected to. So we have been using Glific from I think more than 1 year now. So yeah, it's a quite interesting journey, and I'm looking forward to so many more features and requirements. Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks. Baiju.
Thanks everyone. My name is Baiju. I'm from Rape Benefit Foundation. I've been personally using Glific for the past 5-6 months, and we are using it currently to engage with young people to make them solve problems, let them take actions. And I've been seeing wonderful results and great feedback from the users as well. So thank you for this training.
Thanks, Baiju. Ritika from SL.
Hi everyone, my name is Ritika. I am from Slammer Cloud, and we have been working with Glific about 1 year, and it has been a very great journey with colored cow also. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Thanks, Ritika. Priya.
Hi everyone, my name is Priya. I'm from Indus Action. Yeah, it's been a 1 year we are using Glific chatbot, and thanks Mohit and Glific team for supporting us. And you are very supportive. Yeah, thanks. Excited about the new features.
Yeah, thanks. Gautam Raj.
Thanks, Mohit. Hello, everyone. I'm Gautam Raj. I work with Reap Benefit. Baiju and Tejas already gave an intro on what we are currently working on with the bot. So we are using the Glific chatbot for more than a year. It's been a fantastic journey so far. The support that we got from the Glific community and the Color Co is fantastic. Looking very forward to learn the new features. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Gautam. Ishita.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I am Ishita from Mukamar. We've invested about a year in building our chatbot, and we've just started piloting it about 2 months ago. We work with adolescent girls and trying to build a program, a two-way chat-based program for girls to have agency. Yeah.
Thanks, Ishita. Shweta.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shweta. I'm part of the operations team at TAP. As Krishna explained, we're really looking forward to having these new features and understanding them and getting to use them. Thank you.
Thanks for joining, Shweta. Anita.
Hi everyone, this is Anita from Team Mukamar. Okay, so I work with Ishida ma'am, and Ishida ma'am has already explained it. Thank you.
Welcome, Anita. Tony? Tony, we are not able to hear you. Okay, maybe some internet issue. The Tony is from Video Volunteers, and probably once we'll have yeah, his audio back, so he can consider. Anyone left, or we have introduced everyone?
Yeah, I'm left. My name is incorrectly. It's my system name actually. So I'm Saurav. I'm a consultant at Quest Alliance, and we've recently joined Glific 2-3 months back, and we intend to use it to aggregate information for whoever works for Quest. So teachers or volunteers, anyone.
Okay, welcome. So I welcome everyone. There are many people whom I've already talked with on Discord or in the meetings, but there are some new people. Happy to you have here the part of community. And yes, so this will be an interactive session. So please stop me in between anywhere you have any questions. So the idea is to show around how these feature works, so that you can use these as many as ways you can in your flows and achieve the required results. So I'll quickly share my screen, and today we will be covering 4 topics, and if time permits, then we can have another one also. Let me know when my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible, Mohit.
Okay, okay. So yes, so we will start with the first topic of today, that is counters in flow. So sometimes there's a need in a flow that you have to implement how many times you want to do an activity, and after that activity you want to maybe move forward from that flow, or maybe you want to change the flow or take any decisions. And at that time there is a requirement of having counters in place, where you can count the how many times that particular flow has executed, and the particular node has executed, and after that you can take a decision on that if you want to move forward or not. So here's a simple example of that. I'll just go through what I've created a sample for you, and then I'll execute it to show you how it works, right? So at the start of the flow, I've created a variable called counter and set it to 0. And then I asked some input from a user, right? Capturing user input in a wait for response. And on the basis of response, I'm taking actions. So if user response is 1, then what I do, I keep this counter increase by 1, right? And on the basis of that, once it is increased, I'm taking a decision here. If the counter variable is 1 or 2, that means the counter has executed twice, then do this, otherwise do this. So that means if 1 and 2, then repeat this process. If it is more than 2, then exit, right? Now I quickly start this flow for myself. Can see my screen, right?
Yes, what's up?
Yeah, so I have started this flow, so it is asking me to enter the number. So I will enter 1 here. So if I enter 1, then it says your answer is 1, and then it will increase the counter and it will tell the count. So it is saying counter is equal to 1. Your answer is 1. And as it is 1, now the flow is asking again the same question. So I'll again type 1. So again, it takes a response as 1, but now this time counter is 2. So I am printing the counter here, right? And again, if it's 2, now it goes back to the previous question. And this time again, I'll say 1. This time counter is 3. So this time it is not 1 or 2, it is 3. So it executes other and it says exit. So this way you can implement counters in your flow and keep count of any activity from the contacts in a flow and take a decision on that. I'll quickly stop for questions. Any queries, questions or regarding this?
Mohit, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share like some scenario in which this would be applicable? Like what kind of use case do you think this counter would be helpful? Is it to count the number of times a particular flow is kind of referenced by the user, or is it to count the response given?
It's used to count any activity in a flow. Suppose how many times that particular node has been executed. So it can be a user response, or it can be any activity you can go through in a flow. So it basically uses that when suppose a recent example what happens, so I can share that. So suppose if user is not responding, then with a no response thing, we can send a nudge message to user, right? That we are waiting for your response, please respond with 1 or 2 or the given answer. Now what happened, because if that nudge messages keep on going, because there is no control on that, right? So what we have done, after 3 messages we have asked the code is written so that the flow will be killed in that case. Otherwise that nudge messages will keep on going.
Understood. Do you have a flow that we can refer to later for this nudge message control?
Means I can create one, but suppose like this, I'll just create this. So this is wait for response. So I'll say continue if there is no response for 5 minutes. So this new response is there. So then I'll say, please respond to the question above, right? So this message will execute and I'll link that flow to here only. Now, if I do not put any counters, what will happen? User will get this message and it will keep on waiting. After 5 minutes, what will happen? This message will show.
Right.
Right. And again, user will not respond. So it will go again to this and again keep on waiting. So after 5 minutes, for 3 times, this message will be shown and it will come back to here. But what will happen at the 4th time? The flow will be killed, flow will be stopped. Otherwise this loop will be, the messages will be keep sending to the contacts, and the gupshup money will be wasted. So after 3 this flow will be killed. But if we put a counter like this here and say, if this message is sent twice, then go back to this. But if it is more than 2, then link it to some next node. So in that case your flow will continue, right? You will not keep responding, keep waiting for the response, or you can move forward. Otherwise you can say after 2 times there should not be a wait for response. The contact will be waiting for a response, and there should not be no response method here.
So how do we do that check here? I mean, to see if that same node has been triggered.
So after this node trigger, you can do this update contact and keep the counter increasing. And then you can put a check like this.
Okay.
If the counter is more than 2, then do this. If less than 2, then do this.
Okay.
Right? So like this, you can go back here to the wait for response. But in case of other, you can go and check, do other activities.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Anyone else? Sorry, I'm not seeing chats.
One question, Mohit, Shweta here from TAP. So if we have to use it as a break, like, counting how many times a certain message has been sent, in that case, we'll have to set it to 0 every time, right? At the start of the flow.
Yes, because, this is a contact variable, and contact variables are accessible across the flows.
Right. Yeah.
So you want to set the 0 at the start of the flow.
Yeah.
And remember that it should not be in the loop of counting, right? So if you see, I have kept it 0 earlier.
Right.
But if it is 1 or 2, then I am moving back to this message, not this.
What? Yeah. Understood. Yeah.
Hi, Mohit. Just want to verify if I'm getting it right. So the use cases that I am seeing is something like, for example, if we ask for a name and the child is typing, say, numbers, whereas we want letters or something like that, right? And the child continues to type numbers, and after, say, 3 times or whatever counter we decide, then we can say, okay, that even if the child writes 1, 2, 3 as their name, we will just save it and move ahead. Is that a use case for this?
Yes, Ishita, this can be a use case. But in this case, user is responding incorrect response, right?
Right.
So that will be other case, like you are expecting name, but he or she is typing number. So that other case you can handle already. So in this particular example, counter will work. But yes, let's say if user is not responding, then you have a particular message only, right? That please respond to the message. In that case, the example I was taking is the another one, but in this case also it works. But you have better control if user is sending wrong response. Am I clear?
Not really. Here also the contact is responding, right? So the counter is basically how many times the same thing has been asked. So if the same thing is being asked repeatedly, then instead of the person getting stuck there, you move them ahead to do something else, because the counter will calculate, okay, repeat this only twice or 3 times or 4 times or something like that. So
yeah, Ishita, this is just an example. You can use counter like any ways. Like suppose if you are sending a message, any information to your beneficiaries, you can put a counter that how many times you have sent that. It's not only user responses. This is only an example. So it can be anything you want to count. What any node has been executed in your flow. Right?
So you can count incoming as well as outgoing.
Yes.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
Mohit, I had another question. Can we have more than one counter during the same flow?
Sure. So I can have another one here, set counter 1, and I can use it here. Means, that variable name should be different because we cannot use another one. But I can have counter 2 created here and use that.
Understood.
Right. So if we do not have any other questions, can we move forward to the next one?
Just one question. Can you show the syntax to append the value of the counter?
Yeah, please. Yes. So this is the syntax of Elixir, the language we use to build the Glific. So it is there. You have everything in the documentation also. Let me quickly open the document also so that you can help. It is helpful.
So like where you have put +1, we can do any other arithmetic operations also, like.
Yes, yes. So you can refer this document. So here is the exact syntax which I have used. So you can use any variable. I have put a counter. You can say name or no response, like no result type, and keep adding at here.
Okay.
And use this to get the value of it.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So this is for the counter. Now we'll move for split by expression. So yeah, there were two things. Actually, there are many now. They're split by expression and split by result. So split by expression is like used to use a bit of coding, like the syntax, where in between, without any user response or without any immediate user response, you want to take a decision in a flow, right? And at that point, there's a node called split by expression, and with the name is expression is a syntax, which says you take a decision on the basis of information you have from contact and use it in your flow. So I see many NGOs have a little bit queries regarding the split by expression. So we try to include that in this session. Please ask if you have any questions. I'll do the same. I'll just go through the flow first, and then I'll execute the flow to show you how it works. So I'm just created a flow where I'm asking the geographical region of a contact, and on the basis of, please, can you be on mute? Somebody.
17,500.
Shravani, can you please be on mute? Thank you. So on the basis of the response we get, we take the decisions, and on the basis of the response we are taking, we are not asking what it is, but with the details of the response, we are taking using an expression to take decision where to go or where not to go. So this is the case. I will execute a particular flow for myself. So I am choosing north. I'm typing 3. And it will ask, are you agree or not? So I'll say sorry first. And now on the basis of that, it will go to this node. And then there's another example. So school grade is not available, that's what I say, but it took a decision here, and it went to sorry node. So if I can explain this quickly. So what is saying, so we are getting a result from a user which is choice, and we are saying if the variable choice has a value sorry, then do option 1, otherwise do option 2. So this is the expression, right, where this is a condition to check. These are the syntax which is required. This is a variable which we are using, and this is the parameter you can say to evaluate if it is equal to or not. This is the string which we are matching, and this is the conditions. So if there is condition 1, then it should go to the category this, and if it is Otherwise, condition 2, it will go to here. So I type sorry, so it went here. It matches that it is equal to sorry, and it says it's 1, and then it moves to this section. Otherwise, if I do agree, then it will move to this section. Quickly show you another example which we have created. Like if there are points we are comparing here, that if some points are more than 1000 or not. So in this case, we are saying that if it is more than 1000, then print this. If it is less than 1000, then print this. So I'll execute this case again. Another one. So this time I'm using 2, second option. And it will say, please enter your points. So I'll say 1200. So it says, okay, your point is 1200. Now at this point, it compares, it is more than 1000. So it says, okay, go to this place. So it says more than 1000. So it prints more than 1000. Right? So like this way, there are many options we can use. Like in this case, we are saying that if string is equal to A, in smaller case, do 1 and 2. I have created a document also for this, which has more other examples for your reference. Like this particular expression is checking that if that contact is in collection 1 or not. Then do 1. If the contact is in collection 2, then do 2. Otherwise, do 3. So if you enter this expression here, then it will check if user is in which collection and take a decision on the basis of that. Here we have taken an example, a variable called is registered, and in a flow we are setting that is registered to 1 if user is already registered or not. And in this expression we are checking if user is registered is equal to 1, variable value is registered is 1, then do 1, otherwise 0. That means you can use it if user is a new user because it is registered or not, or if user is coming, again user is coming back to the flows or bot. The third very common example which we have used is to check if user has done opt-in or not. In this case, there's already a variable called opt-in status of contact. So we are checking if opt-in status is equal to true, then do 1, otherwise do 2. So in this case, if user has opt-in, then it will go to the 1 case, otherwise it will go to the second one. So you can copy these syntax, or if you have any specific query regarding the syntax, and if you need help, you can just tell us the requirement. We can create the syntax and send it to you. Any questions regarding split by expression? Yes, Prashant, please.
Yeah. So I was thinking about about the two example, the first two example, we can just use the wait for responses has any of the word. It would be easy for it if we just remove the syntax and type as any of the word sorry, then we can just split the flows. It would be very easy now.
Yes. So what happened in this example, I'm taking a response from a user, Prashant, but in case somehow if you have taken a response from a user in a previous flow or another flow or maybe in other sometime and used it and saved it in your contact variable, in that case, so like I have given an example of collection. So probably maybe you have saved the users collection earlier at some time, but now you want to take a decision on that. So you are right here in this example. If we want, we can take this decision with wait for response also. But somehow, if we have saved some information and want to use that information later, then we can use split by expression.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
For collection also, Mohit, there is split by collection option.
Yeah, so we have created the split by collection node also, which is exactly comparing if user is a part of that collection or not. So,
okay.
But other variables like is registered or any custom variables you create for your use case,
right,
we can save it in a contact and use it as split by expression to make decision on the basis of the value.
Understood. And the logic, like I think you had shown in the half points wala ye, uppercase, lowercase, I think that.
Okay, there's another one, yeah.
Is that included in the documentation if string dot downcase?
No, I have not included that, but you can include, means I can include that in the documentation if you think it will be helpful. So in this case, we are just, making sure that the user response will be in capitals or smaller letters. So we are making it say sure that in with down case that we are comparing it with the small case.
Right, understood.
So,
yes, understood. Is there
that.
any contains option? Like, let's say user has sent yes and has added some sentence after that. So in that case, let's say if the sentence has yes, then do this, else that, something like that, option like that.
So I'll check with the technical team. I think we have done for some NGO where we were, checking that if the string has a particular word or not. But like you are saying contains, I don't know if that contains a word exists or not. But yes, we can compare with some word. But I have to check for the exact syntax with the tech team and get back to you, Shweta.
Understood. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So I have a doubt. I have a scenario like that. Let's say that we are registering the user. We are asking about them surname, about their name, school, and standard, and on both sides, and first two sides they have registered the information, and after third this they empty they selected, they didn't type anything and move forward to the flows. So I was asking if there is any way that we can just ask them about the specific information, like if this expression is null, do we have to equal what we have to write in?
Yes, you can do in this here also, that if some variable value is null, that means if there is no value in that, then you can also make a decision in that. So I will check for that also.
So what should we write in place of equals to, in equals to?
So it will be like is equal to null, but yes, again, I have to, check with the tech team what will be the exact syntax of that. But you can, like I've shared the case of true, like this. So you can say if equal to null, then.
Okay.
Right. But I'll get back to you, Prashant, with the exact syntax of this.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mohit, I have a question here. So if I understand correctly, the scenarios when we should be using this as compared to wait for a message is like if we just have some simple response like press yes to continue or no to exit, then a wait for message might be easier to do. But if we are looking for some kind of a, like instead of just two options, the user has multiple options, like enter any number between 1 to 50. And then we want to check what the response is, in which case we can't have 50 nodes. So that is when splitting by expression will make more sense, right? Am I getting it right?
Yeah, that can also be a use case, Divya. But yes, you can have 50 options there in the wait for response. But yes, that will be cumbersome. Or you can say like if the number is between 1 to 10 and 10 to 20, 20, 30, like that.
Right.
But the exact use case of this will be like you have some information of a contact, And on the basis of that information, you want to take a decision. You're not asking the user that information right then and there in particular that moment of a flow, but you already have that. Suppose,
Okay.
yeah. So you have asked that, okay, which district are you in? Right. So you have asked that, and while registration, and you have saved that information in a contact variable.
Right.
Now, maybe in some other flow, you need that information. Okay, if user belongs to west or east or north, so do this or do this. At that time, you can use split by expression.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Got it. Thanks.
Right.
Mohit, one question that I just asked on Discord also. So to make this decision, let's say I did not ask the question about district in my registration flow. So now I know which user is from which district. Let's say I have my backend spreadsheet or something. Is it possible to update a contact with that information so that we can use it in flows?
Yeah. So, Shweta, yes, I know. I have to get back to you on that answer. But I was thinking you already have a field which doesn't have a value, right? But I think you are right now saying that if that field is not there, can we create that field from the backend and fill the data?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to check. It may be possible. Yes. It seems to be possible that from backend you can run a query and add the details.
Understood.
But I have to check with the tech team. It means if it is possible and how we can do that.
Understood. Yeah, because that is this related to this only. Our requirement was we want to use that in the flow, like split by expression. Okay. But we haven't captured it.
Right, Baju. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So you were mentioning about split by expression based on the collection of the user, right? Could you give us one scenario of a use case where that can be used? I want to know more about that.
So I'll tell you this use case of another NGO a long back, where they were making a decision that if a user has preferred to communicate with the bot in English or Hindi or Marathi. So in that case, they already have that information in the user profile. And what they have done, they have moved those contacts to the different collections on the basis of their language preference. Now they want to make a decision that if user has preferred to communicate in English, then send this particular content. If in Marathi, then this particular content. At that time, they use this, that if user belongs to collection 1, that means you can say collection 1 is English, then send this. If user belongs to Hindi collection, then send this, and so on.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Mohit, I have one more question in this.
Sure.
In a scenario wherein we are collecting information from a user, in which they can select more than one option. Like for example, with English, it is a language is going to be either English or Hindi or Marathi. Suppose right at the beginning we ask, I'm giving services context. Right in the beginning, if we ask the user, please select your area of interest, and this can be environment and health, or environment and health and technology. And much later, when we're sending them the content, we will want to send the content of only areas of interest. But here, the user will enter more than two options, or more than one option rather. So is there a way for us to collect multiple options and then use that in an expression later? But is the option health, or is it environment, or is it technology?
Yes, it is always advisable to collect the information one by one in one variable, but you can collect more than one information at one go. But I think what I got from your question is like you have asked for the activity or the area of interest, right? So in that case, you can have a collection on the basis of area of interest. So I took an example of language. You can use it as area of interest, and later on.
What I'm going to ask is in the language variable, only one value can be stored at any given point of time. It will be either English or Hindi. In the collect in this particular scenario, more than one value will be required to be collected. So how do we collect it and how do we store it and then link it in the expression? It's like a checkbox. If it's like a
I
Google
got
form,
it.
yeah.
I got it. More than one value for a variable, and you want to check if that exists. If any of the value exists in that variable, then what to do?
Right.
Means it seems to be a valid query, but I have not done that yet.
Right. I just want to know if it's possible.
It seems, because it's a string only, but I cannot comment. I have to check with the tech team how to do that, or probably ask the use case again from you, exact use case, because there could be a confusion if you save more than one value in one variable.
Understood.
But again, I cannot comment, but I'll check with this one also.
I can send it to you on Discord. I'll send the exact requirement to you.
Yeah, sure, Divya. Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions related to split by expression, or we can move to the next one? All right, so I'll move to split by result. So like split by expression is mainly used that when you have already taken, any value from a contact earlier and use it later. But split by result is like, you asking some information from a user, and on the basis of the response, you are using, what option, on the basis of the response, you are taking a decision. So this could be a case where you are saying that if there are 50 examples, then wait for response will work, or wait for result will be the best option or not.
Right, got it.
Yeah, so here I'm just asking like, which is your favorite color for an example, and user is sharing his favorite color, and if the color is blue, then do this, and if the color is green, then do this. So here, this is not an expression, it's a user-friendly option. So you just select the split by result here and select the variable of that result, the variable you have asked. It's the same variable which we have saved in the wait for response, right? So you ask which color there, and you compare if has any of the words like this. So if color is having blue, then do this. If color is having green, then do this. And otherwise, means the other questions are there. So again, I'll quickly execute this particular flow for myself, and I'll show you how it works. Yeah, so it is asking what is your favorite color. I'll say green. My favorite color too, and I'll execute this once more. Blue this time. And it says blue is my favorite color too. So it is taking a decision on the basis of the value of a variable called color, and we can add as many as we want and take a decision on the basis of that. Any questions regarding this?
No, I think it's clear.
Yeah, so the basic difference is the flow by split by flow result is used when you are having you are getting that information immediately in that particular flow, because it works only for the result variables. If you see, it's not for the contact variables. We may have some similar like this for the contact variables in near future, but currently it's only for the flow. Okay, and another one is, the next topic is the subflows. I think many of us, we have used subflows. So it's like calling a flow within a flow. New content. Right. So in this case, we have a flow running, and then in between we are calling another flow from a flow, and the communication will be moved to that another flow, and then after that completion of this another flow, the communication will come back to this, the parent flow. So this particular example also shows that if there are some variables which is set in a parent flow that can be accessed in the child variable, in the child flow also. So I'll quickly execute this flow first, and then I'll share how it works. So I'll say parent to start this particular flow. So it says, please share your state name. I'll say Delhi. And after receiving the response, it takes me to the another flow, which is a child flow. And it is asking me, enter the name of your city. So probably I'll say, and here, if you can see, I am accessing the value of the state variable, which was set in a parent flow in a child flow. And then after that, I am accessing the city variable here in a parent flow. So these two flows are interrelated with them. Right? Is it confusing, or should I repeat, or is it making sense?
Could you please repeat once again?
Yeah, Krishna. So what I have done here, so I've created a parent flow, flow A, where I have saved information of one variable, which name with the name is state. Right. And after saving this information state, I'm moving to the another flow. And to go to another flow, we use enter another flow option from the node and give the name of the flow. So if then this flow is called, and in this particular flow, we are asking a city and setting up the information of a city variable here, right? And this city variable is getting saved, but in the child flow, flow B, I am using the variable state which I have created and saved in parent flow, right? And after this flow completes, so it says that when child flow completes, it comes back to the parent flow. Here I am accessing the city variable which I have created and saved in child flow and using it. So you can use the variables of a parent and child flow across the flows.
So like if there are two different flows, for
Mhm.
example, if I'm in a flow
Mhm.
and like the user has sent a keyword which is from a B flow. So
Okay.
there are two different flows completely. So there's a flow and a B flow. Right now I'm in the A flow and the user had sent me a keyword from the B flow. So can I like go to the B flow, like cutting off this flow?
Yes.
We can do that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So like this, you can say, if you see, I have what I've written, result dot the name of the flow and then the variable name. So if you are flow A and you want to use something of flow A and flow B, then you will say results dot that flow name and that variable name, and you can access it.
Okay,
Right?
got it. Yeah, and these two A and B flows in my example, they have to be like set in a separate way as parent and child flow, or they can be like two different flows altogether.
No, those will be two different flows, but you have to call one flow from like this from a flow A. So there's some relation in that, right? So you are calling another flow from flow A, like calling flow B from flow A.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So we have
Mohit,
documentation also.
Sorry, just going back to this. So basically, whatever information we are collecting in a parent and a child flow of a particular user can be saved together.
Can be saved together? Yes.
Okay.
So it's used even in for those cases where you have some particular information received at one place, and for somehow you're not saving it in your database and you want to use it in another one. Suppose you have asked for the details of a contact, and then at the time of registration you want some of that information. At that time you can call that information from there.
Okay. Yeah.
Or when you are using flows and getting so many values, and you want to modularize the flows, small flows, and interlink with them using enter a flow, and then you can use this.
Okay. Okay.
Can you go back to the parent flow once? What does expired thing do?
Okay, so it says if either flow has completed or flow has expired. Suppose user is not responding, right? So what will happen in that case? So after 6 days, that flow will be killed by default.
Okay.
Right? Or some other for some other reason the flow got killed in between. That means if that flow is not completed but expired, even in that case it will come. So if I'll link this expired to here, this one, then this message will also come if flow will not be completed but expired.
And by expired we mean like the 24-hour period is over.
No, 24-hour period is for only user sessions, right? Like user session will expire in 24 hours. After that, you can always send them HSM messages. We are saying that if user in a flow and user will not respond, then flow will be active for 6 days. Right? After that, user can respond within 6 days at any time, and the flow will execute from that point itself. But in case, suppose user is not responding and you're sending the nudge messages, suppose there is some other network issue, the flow get killed in between. That means it is not completed its natural flow. It got expired. Then if you want to take some decision, then this particular option will be needed.
Okay. So just so I'm understanding you right, if any person starts this parent flow and they enter the child flow, and if they stop responding in the child flow, they will remain there in that flow even after 24 hours. The HSM message we can be used, but for the next 6 days they will if they enter any keyword, that keyword will be relevant within the child flow. and after 6 days it gets expired, so that entire then whatever they send will not be like, even if it's present in child flow, even they will not be able to respond to that. But if we can use the expired option to get them back to this thing.
Let me reiterate this. So Tejas, it will be like if you are in a parent flow, and from that parent flow you move to the child flow. Now within the child flow, due to any reason, that flow get expired, means it got killed in between, right? So that could be a 6 days a period, or that could be no response for more than 3 times, or that could be a network issue. If any reason that flow will not be completed, that means this flow is not executed and reached here. Somewhere in between it got killed. In that case, the flow will not be killed here. What will happen? It will come here and then print this message, and then it get finished.
Or we can put whatever else we want, like
whatever else you want in case of expired. Yes.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. So like it's kind of similar to the question they just have asked. So if a user is already in the flow, for example, like user has responded to a couple of messages and user has stopped responding later on. So, and like after a day, the session got expired. After that, if the user is responding, it won't be captured at the backend for that flow, right? It will start as a new flow altogether.
No.
Am I right?
No. It will capture. Suppose you are in this flow and you have asked this question, right? Please share your state name. Now I'm not responding, right? After 24 hours, I will not be able to send you another message if it is not a HSM message, right? But I will keep waiting for the contact response here for 6 days. Suppose if I respond to this message tomorrow, then the flow will start from here only. It not will start from here. It will start from this part only.
Actually, my question was slightly different. So I'm in a parent flow. I have shared my state name. For example, I've shared it as Maharashtra.
Okay.
And then you have asked me another question, like which city in Maharashtra?
Right.
Okay. And I haven't responded there. So as per my current knowledge, that session expires in next 24 hours.
No. So slightly different. When we say session expire for 24 hours, that means the contact, whosoever is, you can check it from here also. That means you can send session messages, as many session messages to this user for 24 hours.
Yes.
But if this 24 hours, suppose this user is 8 hours and this is 0 now. So I cannot send this many message to this user, right? But I can send HSM message. So that is a session window for a contact.
Yeah, I got it. So,
right? But when we are saying here, we are talking about the lifespan of a flow. Suppose user has not responded and the user is in this state. There's no 24-hour windows have passed, and we cannot send a message. But user sends a message back of this as a response of this question. Then the flow will start from here. The flow will kill only after 6 days.
Okay. So within 6 days, if a user sends a message, replies back even after a day, before 6 days, within the flow will still continue normally for a user.
Yes, for user it will continue, but it's on the user. Like if user responds,
of course.
Yeah.
So I like Maharashtra I have answered. Pune ka I didn't answer for a day. Like after a day I have answered Pune. Then Pune ka jo reply ideally in the flow should come. It will come for me.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, Divya, you're saying something.
Mohit, how is this different from what was earlier the case? Because even in that case, we cannot send a message to a user after 24 hours unless it's a template message. Only the user can message. So how is this working of 6 days different? I mean, has anything changed?
No. Divya, this is the same thing. So this, here we were, demonstrating, connection between two flows, right? but it is the same thing. So just remember, the user session will expire in 24 hours. That means as an NGO, we cannot send a message from a bot to the user after 24 hours if it is not a HSM message, right? But user can send us a message, a keyword or anything, which will trigger a flow. Or if user is stuck in between some flow and user comes back after 2 days and respond to that question, the flow will start from there itself. Right? So user session expires in 24 hours, but flow will be active for 6 days.
Yeah. Okay.
So can we restrict the keywords?
Sorry, Prashant, please come again.
Can we restrict the keyword, flow keywords?
Restrict the keyword, you're saying?
Yeah, like let's say that I've created 3 flows,
Mm-hmm.
and first flow keyword is A, second word key B and C.
Mm-hmm.
Flow second is B and third is C. And then in flow A, there is a option. I was asking them to answer A, B or C. If they type B, will they start with the next flow or will they go to flow number 2?
No, if user is typing B, in that case it will be received as a flow response, wait for response option. And in that case, if you have connected as a response B, then you can use enter a flow B.
Okay.
So it will go to the flow B. Right?
So if I let's say here only child name, I'm asking about them, please enter A, B or C, and I write in that I'm asking, then wait for response, and that is in wait for response there is a messages, next message. In A, B and C there is next message. Before example, like before something, let's say I'm asking them before ball or something. So let's say they have typed the B, so will it go to flow number 2, or let's say or it will be go to next message, it will show next message?
It will go to a next message because there's a preference of user response in that particular flow.
Okay. Yeah.
But you can also use that response to call another flow like this we have done. Right. So so you can call a flow B for option B, or you can call flow A from option A. Is it making sense, Prashant?
Yeah, but I was thinking that I don't want to call flow number 2, but I want to ask about if they answer the flow message by typing B, will it access as the flow number flow number 2 keyword or the flow number 1A response?
So by default, the preference is given to the response of that flow.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if user is not in any flow and user type B, in that case, B flow will start executing.
Or if it is not asking about A and B, C, if there is no any or not.
Yes. Because when you're not asking anything, then it will start that flow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So we have already reached more than the time. So anybody has any other question? Stop sharing my screen. Okay, if there is no other questions, we can stop this session here. Thank you guys for joining, and please do send us any questions on Discord if you have related to any feature regarding Glific.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mohit. Thank you.
One last
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Sorry, I was just asking a last question, Mohit.
Hi. Yes.
With 6 days, you mentioned that the flow gets killed in 6 days. Why is it predefined as 6 days? Is there any particular reason?
So it is defined in the code, Ishita. Like there should be some, days we need to, fix that when it should expire. So it is defined in the code for 6 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this thing that I was asking on Discord this morning,
which
why
one?
the flow got killed?
Yeah. Yes.
We had asked, I think, couple of days back. So in that, you're saying that I still did not understand what happened. The message kept going, right? The reminder message that
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, yes, yes.
So
So,
yeah,
Ishita,
so
yes, we
I'm
can
a
talk
little
about.
confused about that because the message has been going more than 3 times to almost every child, but the flow doesn't get killed. So what happened this time is what.
Yeah, sure, Ishita. We can talk about it. So what happened? So generally, the code is written like this: that if a similar message keeps on sending, then after 3 messages it stops, right? But the 3 messages, it checks the duration also, right? So generally it says 5 minutes, the message response time is 5 minutes. But in case of yours use case, what we have done, we have extended the response time, wait for response time for 3 hours. So what happens? So first nudge went after 3 hours, the second
Right.
went after 6 hours, and then the third one after 9 hours.
Right.
And the third one, it checks that is there any response, similar response between the last hour or so, but it was not there.
Okay.
So, so the use case has created a bug in the, what should I say, the the system we have created, right? So what happened?
Okay.
After 9, the 12th hour, again message went. Again, it checked if there any similar message went in the previous hour, but it was not there. So it kept on sending the messages till the time user went out of the 24-hour session.
Right.
So what happened after 24 hours? Again, system tried to send the message, but it didn't go because user was not active. Now take a use case. If you have used HSM templates for these nudges.
No, I have not.
Suppose example. So it will keep on sending after 7 times also, because HSM doesn't need user to be in session, right?
Right.
So the 35 paisa, 35 paisa, 35, it kept on sending those nudge messages till the time user ends the flow or responds to the flow, or user say that we do not want to communicate.
Right. But if the user responds after, say, after the session window expires, right? But the flow is not killed yet because
no, after these responses, 7 responses, it got killed.
Is that
I got your question. Yes. So it got killed. That's why that user response didn't went.
But why does the flow get killed? Because the user is responding with the random things.
Sorry, I didn't get random.
How did the flow get killed? Because the user the user did not respond what we wanted them to respond, right? They wrote something else only after the session window got over.
Yes. So after the session, after the session window got over, yes.
So now even if, so typically if we are in session messages and if we are within a flow, even if the user makes an incorrect input, the next message is ki, okay, please tap from the buttons above. But none of that happened. So what actually triggered the killing of the flow is what I am still not clear about.
So the 7th time when this nudge message went, after that, when the 8th time the nudge message tried to send that user response, at that time it got killed. But user was not in the session, the message didn't went.
It got killed. Why?
Because session message, see, the session of that user got expired, and after that there was some communication, right, happened, which did not get executed. Is it making sense, Shita?
I am still a little unclear because previously you have seen it has happened. Children disappear for 2 to 3 days, 4 days. Sometimes they disappear for longer, right?
Yes.
And then they go back. So for example, it's even happened in this manner, right? That a person did the language flow, right? English, Hindi, Marathi, 3 options were there. They clicked on Marathi, they went forward. Now they've entered another flow, right? Now in the other flow, they have stopped understanding. So they have stopped. Now they come back after 4 days, 5 days, whatever. And then they scroll all the way to the top and they tap on English.
Okay.
And then it still continues because
Because in that case, there was no nudge messages going on, right? There was no failure case in that.
Okay, so if a nudge message tries to go to the child, but fails to go, then it results in the flow getting killed.
Yes, and if the nudge messages, delivered to the contact within an hour or so, I'll check with the exact time frame with the tech team. And if there are 3 continuous messages went in the similar fashion, even then it get killed.
Okay, the flow itself would get killed.
Yes, and when flow get kills, then the responses will not work, right? So it is like user is out of a flow or out of any session.
Okay, and can we, so what we can do is, what we need to make sure is if the wait for time is 3 hours, then only twice they get the nudge message, right?
Yes.
Then the flow will not get killed. Then we can just like wait for a couple of days and see if the child resumes. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And how can we restrict that? Because I don't know how to restrict that number of times for the wait for response, no response message to be sent.
Like you can use counters, Ishita.
Okay, so this is where you can use counters.
Yes. So you can use counters after 2 responses. You can see if there's a 2 responses there, then do not send a nudge message. Let them keep waiting for response. So user will have 6 days to respond. If they respond, the flow will get executed further. If they do not, then after 6 days, the flow will be killed.
But so then in every wait for response, I have to no response. It says hurry. Tap to move ahead. So whenever there is hurry, there is no option, right? There's no automate. So I'll have to put a counter on every node then, Mohit. Is that right?
Yes, yes. Yes, at every node, you have to put a counter.
That is extremely cumbersome. Isn't there a way for like global settings to change wherein because I remember you telling me this earlier that the nudge message gets sent only about 4 times. And then remember I told you it's going 7 times, it's going till the session window is there.
Yeah. So that's maybe we are using the gap of 3 hours. That's why it is there. But if you can try creating a test flow and use that for 5 minutes, you will see that after 3 responses, I think the 4th one will went and then the flow will be killed.
So only within 5 minutes you would allow for global settings, otherwise it can't be done.
No, it can't be done. But I can check with the tech team if there is any other option other than
If
this.
you could check, that would be very helpful, because putting a counter on every single node across every single flow would be super duper difficult. It's like almost next to impossible.
Yeah, so probably we need to think about this issue from scratch, that if you want to send a nudge message, right, then how you want to send a nudge message also and want that the flow will also not killed.
Yeah.
So we need to see that if that is possible, how we can do it, right? Means that will be possible, but we need to see if that is how we can achieve that.
Okay. So will you let me know if you have any ideas, because I really don't have any. The whole purpose was why we were not sending nudge messages within 5 minutes is because that's like too fast for the child, because the children have one device at home, right? So typically they only stop if one of the other siblings has a class or the father is taking the phone away. And the assumption is that in a 12-hour window, the phone might come back.
Yeah.
So that's
one thing is that if you do not send the nudge message, but that you need to see that if that works for you or not. Means if you do not send the nudge message, then whenever the kid will get the phone back from their parent, they'll start the flow from there itself.
They have said that the nudge message helps them remember and keep on track. So I don't think removing that is also an option.
Yeah. So let's take it separately. I'll check with the
Okay.
tech team and I'll respond you back on Discord.
All right. Okay. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
मोहित सर
Yes.
सर अबाउट मेरा प्रॉब्लम जो हो रहा था कलेक्शन का
हाँ, अभी तक वो प्रशांत, अभी तक वो टेक टीम चेक कर रही है. अभी तक उनसे कोई रिस्पांस आया नहीं मेरे को. वो रेप्लिकेट नहीं कर पा रहे उसको.
ओके ओके सर, लेट मी नो इफ देयर इज एनी प्रोग्रेस.
श्योर. हाँ जी.
थैंक यू सर.
वेलकम. बाय.